Well, good morning, everybody. Got up really early this morning, got back home and thought, yes, I really do want to have a look at this bit of testimony, cross-examination by Dean Strang. First of all, many thanks to Millbilly for the chat last night. I'm looking forward to our next one. And in fact, I need to run it past Millbilly, but I've got a specific topic in mind that hopefully we could have a look at next time we get together. But we have to wait and see when Millbilly is next available. Long before StreamYards became the norm for doing these YouTube videos where I can screen share, I actually did a video. This is one of the only bits of testimony that I'd printed out in full and read through, and in a strange way thoroughly enjoyed reading through, but of course the content is still a wrongful conviction of Stephen Avery, and the dishonesty of Andy Colburn just shines through so clearly. Hi there, dark side. So as I say, I don't intend to go through the whole of all of the trial transcripts, and not even of this this section of this day, just a little bit of it. But you remember the part in Making a Murderer where I believe it's Anjanette Levy that at the end of the day asks Dean Strang, almost sort of admonishing him for having given Andy Colburn a hard time of it, saying, his kid's got to go to school and it's going to be laughed at. And I'm sorry, Anjanette, I feel no sympathy for Andy Colburn whatsoever. If you do, but then that's your problem. I don't feel any sympathy for him at all. And as I say, if you do, then you should wake up, smell the roses, and realize what is going on. Anyway, let's have a look. We'll start at this point here. So let's pop that up. Let's click on that button there. That usually works quite well. There we go. Good. Okay. So here, I've got it ready at the necessary page. So we're at the end of the direct examination by Sweaty, and there's a theme here that Kratz later on gets annoyed with Dean Strang, and this is very important because this leads into Strang's cross-examination, which is absolutely brilliant. But this is right at the end of the direct examination by Kratz, and he's asking, of course, about the 94-95 phone call. And so Andy Colburn carries on. I told this individual, you are probably going to want to speak to a detective, and I transferred the call to a detective, to the detective division at the Manitowoc County Sheriff's Department. That's the extent of my testimony. Question, that's it? That's your connection to Mr. Avery? Answer, yes, sir. Question, well, did that cause you enough embarrassment and enough angst in which to set up Mr. Avery for a charge of murder? Answer, no. Did that deposition cause you such problems from within your department that you obtained and planted blood so that it would be found and Mr. Avery would be wrongfully accused of a homicide case? Answer, no, sir. Have you ever, question, have you ever planted any evidence against Mr. Avery? Answer, that's ridiculous. No, I have not. Question, have you ever planted any evidence against anybody in the course of your law enforcement career? Answer, I have to say that this is the first time my integrity has ever been questioned, and no, I have not. And Sweaty, that's all I have for Sergeant Colburn, Judge. And then, of course, Willis, Mr. Strang. So, cross-examination by Dean. And we know this bit. This is the first time your integrity has been questioned. Question. Answer. As it applies to being a police officer, yes. Question. Okay. And it's not the first time Mr. Avery has been. So I have some questions for you. You were, in November of 2005, in the Road Patrol Division of the Manitowoc County Sheriff's Department. Answer. Yes, sir. Question. You were a sergeant in that division. Answer. Yes, sir. Question. Were there other sergeants in that division? Answer. Yes, sir. Question. How many? Answer. There's one lieutenant and two sergeants assigned per shift. There's 3 shifts. We're looking at 6 sergeants, 3 lieutenants. Question. Your shift particularly was noon to 8 p.m. Answer. Yes, sir. That made you the assistant shift commander as opposed to the other sergeant. Answer. Yes, sir. Question. And the shift commander himself when the lieutenant had a day off? Answer. Yes, sir. Question. The Road Patrol Division does exactly that. It patrols the roads of Manitowoc County. Answer. Yes, sir. Question. Typically in marked squad cars? Answer. Yes, sir. Question. Speeding and other traffic law enforcement? Answer. Yes, sir. Question. Calls for help from citizens, a variety of calls? Answer. Yes, sir. Question. You might be the first to respond to a domestic violence call, let's say. Answer. Yes, sir. Question. You might respond to a flat tire on the side of the road. Answer. Yes, sir. Question. This division, during the noon to 8 shift, back in, let's say, November 2005, had approximately how many officers out on the road during that noon to 8 o'clock, 8 in the evening shift? Answer. Well, I believe that 4 or 5 officers counting the shift commander. Question. Roughly. Answer. Yes, sir. Question. I understand. And the shift commander had some administrative duties, but also had some road patrol duties? Answer. Yes, sir. Question. Collection of evidence was not typically a duty of the Road Patrol Division? Answer. Yes, it is. Question. That is, some members of the Road Patrol Division may be trained in the collection of evidence, correct? Answer. Correct. Question. Just as some members of the other divisions of the Manitowoc County Sheriff's Department may have special training as evidence technicians or in evidence collection? Answer. Correct. Question. The Sheriff's Department includes as one of its divisions, or bureaus, units, if you will, an investigative unit? Answer. Yes, sir. To make it easier, both patrol and investigations are assigned to the Operations Division of the Manitowoc County Sheriff's Department. Question. Very well, thank you. But they are separate units within the Operations Division? Answer. Yes, sir. Question. You have been trained in evidence collection as a technician? Answer. Yes, sir. Question. That went back to, I think, 1997? Answer. Yes, sir. Question. That was something for which you volunteered? Answer. Yes. Question. You were accepted, or someone accepted your offer and you got some special training? Answer. Yes, sir. Question. One of the people from whom you got that special training is seated right over there, second to my right in the back. True? Answer. Evidence tech training? Question. Yes. Answer. No, sir. Question. Didn't get that kind of training from Special Agent Fassbender? Answer. No, I did not. Question. What training did you get from Special Agent Fassbender? I'm talking about well before November 2005 now. Answer. Special Agent Fassbender was my DAT, which is Defense and Arrest Tactics instructor during the Recruit Academy at Fox Valley Tech. Question. All right. Having nothing directly to do with evidence collection? Answer. That's correct, sir. Question. But you went through a recruit academy? Answer. Yes, sir. Question. As do all police recruits or candidate officers? Answer. Yes, sir. Question. How long did that academy last? Answer, it was 400 hours when I went through the academy. 10 weeks, roughly. Question, roughly 10 weeks, full-time? Answer, yes, sir. Question, all right, we'll come back to that a little bit later in a different context. Did you have any training as an evidence technician from Lieutenant James Lenk? Answer, yes. Question, he, you know, to be a lieutenant in charge of the detective unit within the operations division? Answer, yes, sir. Question, are there more than one lieutenant in the detective unit? Answer, no, sir. Question, so he's the chief detective, in fact, of Manitowoc County? Answer, yes, sir. Question, within the sheriff's department, he was involved in training you as an evidence technician? Answer, I am not exactly sure how to answer that without elaborating somewhat. So, Dean, well, let's start with a yes or a no. Answer, yes, he has given me training material during the course of my career. Question, okay, and has he given you anything more formal than that? In other words, I'm going to let you elaborate here, but we'll do this in a question and answer format. Answer, Lieutenant Link personally hasn't trained me on any specific issue. We would have semi-annual or sometimes quarterly meetings of all the evidence techs, where Lieutenant Link might present some new information, or somebody had recently gone to training, might present some new information, but Lieutenant Link never spoke one-to-one, one-on-one, and trained me in any sort of specific application of being an evidence technician. Question, but you have some sort of in-house, in-service programs? Answer, yes, sir, if you will. Sharing information on new techniques or new teaching? Answer, yes, sir. Question, sometimes that comes from Lieutenant Link? Answer, yes, sir. Question, other times he may simply be involved in overseeing the meeting? Answer, yes, sir. Question, you have known Lieutenant Link personally how long? Answer, since 1996, so 10, 11 years. Question, was it 96 that you actually became a sworn officer? Answer, yes, sir. Question, and if I understood you, the period as a corrections officer in the Manitowoc County Jail was 92 to 94? Answer, 92 to 96. Question, I'm sorry, then I misunderstood you. You went directly from the jail to the recruit academy and then as a sworn officer? Answer, yes, sir. Question, it was 1996 then, when you joined the department as a sworn officer, that you met the man who is now Lieutenant Link? Answer, yes, sir. Question, he at that time was also in the road unit or the road patrol unit? Answer, yes, sir. Question, you became friendly with Lieutenant Link? Answer, yes. Question, let's call him James Link and not worry about his rank at any given time, all right? Do you call him Jim? Answer, yes, I do. Question, you worked closely with him for several years? Answer, yes, I have worked with him several times, yes. Question, he is one of the people on the department to whom you feel personally close? Answer, we don't do anything together socially, but I feel he is an experienced officer and I have an investigative type. And if I have an investigative type question, I feel comfortable talking with him about it. Question, all right. And the time came in 2005 or 2006 when you decided that you aspired to some rank higher than sergeant within the department. True? Answer, I'm sorry, could you repeat? Question, the time came in 2005 or perhaps in 2006, I don't know when, but at some point, certainly before the elections in 2006, you began to aspire to a rank higher than sergeant in your department? Answer, yes. Question, you decided to run for sheriff? Answer, that's correct. Question, of Manitowoc County? Answer, that is correct. Question, another officer within the department at the same time also was running for sheriff in the same 2000 election. And remember, somebody who is much higher up the food chain, Mr. Robert Herman. Answer, yes. Question, that created a situation in which two officers from the same department were running against each other? Answer, yes. Question, there was some tension, at least in that situation? Answer, Are you talking about in 2006, last summer? Question. Well, whenever the campaign began to heat up. Answer. I don't really think the campaign ever got heated, but I didn't really feel any tension. Question. Okay, but one of the things you both were interested in doing, and the other gentleman is a man named Robert Herman, correct? The answer, yes. Question. The brother of Todd Herman? Answer, yes. Question. One of the things that you and Robert Herman both did was sort of see who would support you and who might support the other fellow in the race for sheriff. And I'll just pause it there because, again, it's worth reiterating. When I spoke to Sheriff Herman the first time, without me even asking about this run for sheriff, without me knowing about it, Herman says, I get on fine with Andy. I have no problem with him, with his running for sheriff. Well, why would you say that when you haven't even been asked it? Clearly, there were issues there. But I suspect that Andy Colburn was put forward to run for sheriff by Jim Lenk after gaining the support, after Andy Colburn had supported Jim Lenk certainly in the planting of the key. But anyway, let's carry on. That's my theory anyway. So one of the things that you and Robert both did was sort of see who would support you and who might support the other fellow in the race for sheriff. Answer, no. Question, you weren't interested? Who was on your side? Answer, no, I wasn't. Well, I don't believe that for one moment. You don't run for sheriff without trying your best to gain support. It's ridiculous. Anyway, question, do you know whether Lieutenant Lenk was on your side? Answer, I have no idea how Lieutenant Lenk voted during the sheriff's campaign. Oh, I'm sure you don't, Andy. I'm sure you don't. I would hope that he supported me, but it wouldn't change my feeling one iota if he didn't. Question. I understand that. I don't think you believe that for one moment, Dean. But how long was it between the time you declared your candidacy publicly and the time of the election? Answer. I thought we had to have our nomination papers filed in May of 2006, and the election was in November of 2006. Question. Okay, so let's call it 5-6 months roughly. I'm just trying to get a rough time frame here, okay? Lieutenant Lenk's working hours, to overlap in part with your own on the days you were both at work. Answer, yes. Question, that is, he would typically work something like an 8 to 5 kind of shift. Answer, I'm not sure what his duty hours were, but something in that time frame. Question, in other words, in the afternoon, you two would be on duty at the same time. Answer, yes, sir. Question, and in all that time, he never approached you and gave you an attaboy or told you he was in his corner, in your corner, or that he couldn't be nothing. Attorney Kratz. Judge, I'm going to reject as irrelevant. Is this sometime after November 2005? Attorney Strang. It is. Kratz. I can't see the relevance then to what happened at the Avery salvage property. I will interpose that objection then. Well, it's to Dean Strang. Strang. Well, I'm happy to be heard out of the presence if the court wishes that. Well, it's all right. I think that what I will do at this time is excuse the jury for a few minutes. And Strang, we can excuse the witness as well. And Mr. Colburn, you are excused as well. So with both the jury not present and Andy not present. Willis to Dean. Dean, this isn't a long line of inquiry, Your Honour, but clearly this is relevant to Sergeant Colburn's bias or potential for bias here. Lieutenant Lenk was his partner through several days of searching. Consistently, as the testimony has shown, they were paired together, usually with Detective Remiker as well. Together, they were deposed within 48 hours in Stephen Avery's lawsuit. I expect to elicit testimony that they discussed their depositions. Now, together, it is the two of them who, in Sergeant Colburn's words, had their integrity questioned. Whether these two stood together and had each other's back during a race for a higher office, that well could have been affected by the lawsuit that Stephen Avery had filed. By further developments in that lawsuit, I think is directly relevant to this witness's credibility and bias. Willis, Mr. Kratz, Sweaty. We're talking about two different things, Judge. Testimonial bias, which would be today, and is this witness prepared to shade his testimony to the belief that perhaps of Lieutenant Link or somebody like that, Mr. Strang's area of inquiry is appropriate if in fact the court finds that to be relevant. However, what Mr. Strang is really talking about is having each other's backs, or motive, or being in partnership, for lack of a better term, in planting evidence, or being involved in criminal behavior and activity. Then that only becomes relevant if they had this connection, if they had this friendship or this bond before November of 2005. So if that is in fact the dual purpose of this, then I would ask Mr. Strang to confine his bias inquiry, at least as it regards Lieutenant Lenk and the election. And to that which might affect his testimony today, it would have no relevance as to what occurred in November of 2005. Willis, how do you propose that that be conveyed to the jury? What the purpose of his questioning is? Sweaty, well, as asked, then, Judge, it is irrelevant and should be inadmissible. If we direct it more towards testimonial, that is, if he wants to get into, would you do something to help your buddy, Jim Lenk, today in testifying? I think that's appropriate, but that should be made clear. And if we're getting into more than that, that is, as Mr. Strang, using his words, I have your back. If we're talking about back in November of 2005, their previous friendship may, in fact, be relevant and all those kind of things, but not what happened in the 2006 election. D, let's bring us back to the actual line of questioning, because I don't know that we need to slice the salami that thin. What I'm doing now is simply following up on and exploring his claim that he has no idea whether Jim Lenk supported him or not for sheriff. He hopes he did, but if Mr. Lenk did not vote for him, it wouldn't affect by one iota his view of Jim Lenk. And I'm following that up, since he's already acknowledged that he thinks well of Mr. Lenk and has worked with him and known him since 1996. I'm also going to ask him when it is that becoming sheriff popped into his head, since presumably that was someday before the day in May 2006 when he had to file his candidacy papers. And that's really essentially all the further I'm going with this. Willis, all right. It seems to me of marginal probative value, but if you are telling me you are almost done, I will let you ask a few more questions and then move on. All right. We can bring the jurors back, and then if the victim witness coordinator is here, she can bring Mr. Colburn in. So with the jury present, Willis, you may be seated, and Mr. Strang, you may resume your questioning. D, thank you. Question. So the question was, Sergeant Colburn, in the months leading up to this election, are you telling this jury that there wasn't any time when Lieutenant Lenk approached you and told you either that he was in your corner or couldn't support you for sure? Answer. No, I'm not saying that. Question. Well, what did he tell you about whether he was supporting you? Answer. We did not have, I tried my hardest not to have any discussions about the election at work because I didn't want it to distract from work. Privately, Lieutenant Lenk gave me every indication that he was supporting me. Question. Privately, you took him to be in your corner. Answer. Yes. Question. You may want to get just a little bit closer to the mic. The mic is sort of touchy. When was it that you began to think seriously about running for sheriff yourself? Answer. January or February of 2006. Question. Had the idea occurred to you back in 2005? Answer, I can't recall specifically. I may have thought about it, but question, but at least by January or February 2006, you had a building sense that maybe I could do the top job in this department. Answer, yes, sir. Question, maybe I could do some things a little bit differently than I see them being done. Answer, yes, sir. Question, maybe I could bring something important to the job of sheriff and serve the citizens of Manitowoc County. Answer, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Question, by May, that idea had become strong enough to cause you to go through all the steps necessary to declare a candidacy. Answer, yes, sir. Question, you had not run for an elected office before? Answer, actually, yes, I had. Question, okay, at a countrywide level? Answer, yes. Question, all right. So at least that process you were familiar with and willing to undergo again? Answer, yes. Question, knocking on doors, speaking at Lions clubs, dinners, that kind of thing? Answer, yes, sir. Question, now, it was, I think, October 30, 2005, in specific, in which your deposition was taken in Mr. Avery's lawsuit. Answer, yes, sir. Question, was this the first time you had ever had your deposition taken? Answer, yes, sir. Question, new experience for you? Answer, yes. Question, you were not so much asked to attend a deposition as you were the recipient of a subpoena to do so. Answer, I believe so. Yes, sir. Question, that deposition process involved being sworn? Same oath you took today, essentially. Answer, yes, sir. Question, but in a conference room or library of a lawyer's office? Answer, yes, sir. Question, you were questioned by Mr. Avery's lawyers at that deposition? Answer, yes, sir. Question, you sat across the table from Mr. Avery himself that day, October 13th, 2005. Answer, I know Mr. Avery was in the room. I don't know. It wasn't like I was directly across from him. Answer, question, no. Answer, he sat down at the end of the table. Question, yeah. And I didn't mean directly across, but the two of you shared this conference room and the table. Answer, yes, sir. Question, along with other people? Answer, yes, sir. Question, court reporter? Answer, yes, sir. Question, various lawyers? Answer, yes, sir. Question, some of the questions concerned a telephone call that you had taken. Answer, yes. Question, you understood that call, which today you can place only as 1994 or 1995? Answer, that's correct, sir. Question, you understood the call to be coming from someone who was a detective? Answer, yes, sir. Question, detective with a law enforcement agency? Answer, yes. Question, in an adjoining or nearby county? Answer, I believe so, yes, sir. Question, you don't remember the details today? Answer, no, I don't, sir. Question, and indeed, on October the 13th, 2005, you didn't remember any of the details either? Answer, no, sir. Question, but the gist of it was, we have got somebody here in custody who we think maybe did an assault in Manitowoc County. That was part of it. Answer, yes, sir. Question, and we further think that you may have someone in jail for that assault? Answer, that was the gist of the phone conversation, yes. Question, right. And I understand you don't remember the exact words, but that was the gist. Answer, yes, sir. Question, now, as a corrections officer in the jail, this was not directly your responsibility? Answer, no, sir. Question, you passed or tried to pass the call to the detective unit? Answer, yes, sir. Question, but you understood that you were being told by a law enforcement officer that Manitowoc County may have someone locked up who didn't commit the crime for which he was imprisoned. That much you understood? Answer, yes, sir. Question, was that a matter to shrug off for you? Answer, I didn't shrug it off, sir. I did what the caller asked me to do, connect him to a detective. Question, I think actually you suggested that perhaps the caller should talk to a detective. Answer, no, he specifically asked for a detective. Question, How he happened to call the jail and get to you, you have no idea. Answer, no, I don't, sir. Question, Lieutenant Link, you were aware, also was deposed, had his deposition taken in the same lawsuit. Answer, yes, sir. Question, this was a federal lawsuit. Answer, I don't even know enough about it to know whose jurisdiction it was. Question, okay. Answer, I know there was a lawsuit. Question, all right. Do you know if it was down in Milwaukee? Answer, the deposition, my deposition? Question, or the lawsuit, either one. Answer, my deposition was in the city of Manitowoc. I don't know where the lawsuit, I don't know. Question, fair enough, but you did have an opportunity to talk to Lieutenant Link about the fact that he too was having his deposition taken. Answer, I don't recall discussing the deposition portion of it with Lieutenant Link. Question, what did you discuss about the civil lawsuit with Lieutenant Link? Willis, excuse me, counsel, are you referring to sometime before the deposition or after? Question, I'm referring to the time immediately before the deposition, after you would have gotten your subpoena. Answer, okay, yes. I knew that Lieutenant Link had a subpoena for the same deposition that I did, yes. Question, okay, and I'm not interested in the content of your conversation, which probably would be hearsay. But the two of you established that one another had subpoenas for depositions in that lawsuit. Answer, yes, sir. Question, and again, without going into the content, shortly after your depositions were taken, the two of you talked about the fact that your depositions had been taken. Answer, not really. Not beyond the fact of, did you go on the day that you were supposed to? Yes, and that was pretty much it. Dear. Oh, yeah. Did you have a fun day out in the lawyer's office? Oh, yeah. You went, did you? Oh, yes. Excellent. Good. I don't know. Anyway, question. Okay, fair enough. Did you have any concern that you would be added as a defendant in that lawsuit? Answer, I don't know if concern is the correct word. Maybe something a bit stronger, Absolutely terrified, I would imagine. I know I expressed that I didn't have any knowledge of that case. I wasn't a Manitowoc County resident at that time. My question, though, was whether you had concern. The thought crossed your mind that you might be added as a defendant in that civil lawsuit. Answer, yes. The thought crossed my mind that I might be added as the defendant. Question, you had never been the defendant in a lawsuit before? Answer, no, not that I recall, no. Question, do you think you would recall? Answer, I would think, but question, this isn't something you are relishing? Answer, no. Question, how do you think having been a defendant in Mr. Avery's lawsuit for his wrongful conviction would have affected your prospects in the race for sheriff? Again, sweaty pipes up. Objection, speculation. Question, did you consider that? Willis, just a second. I'm going to sustain the objection. Question, did you consider the prospect of an effect on your race for sheriff if you were added to that lawsuit? Answer, no, I didn't, sir. Question, I would like to shift off the lawsuit and talk to you about reports, police reports, for a little bit. And I promised you we were going to get back to the Recruit Academy, and we will. And so this is my favorite bit. Okay. Reports are something that police officers, and by that I mean broadly sheriff's deputies, municipal police officers, special agents of the Division of Criminal Investigation, just law enforcement officers generally. All right, reports are something that is common to the work of policemen. Answer, is that a question? Question, it is. Answer, yes, reports are common to policing. Question, that is one of the things you learned to do in the Recruit Academy was to prepare a report. You maybe should have had a bit more than 400 hours there, Andy. Answer, that's correct, sir. Question, it is a regular routine in policing to prepare reports of your activities as they bear on a criminal investigation. Answer, yes, sir. Question. You were taught in the academy the basics of how to prepare such a report? Answer. Yes, sir. Are you sure, Andy? I'm not sure about that. Question. Reports have several purposes, I guess. One would be to assure accurate collection of facts. That would be one purpose of a police report. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. A question. Another purpose would be to set down on paper your memories before they begin to fade. Answer. Yes, sir. A third purpose would be to allow others in the department to benefit from knowing what facts you had learned or steps you had taken in an investigation. Answer. That I don't know. Sometimes reports are confidential and no other officers view them. Question. Sometimes. But let's expand on that. In any sort of a larger jurisdiction, let's use Manitowoc County, the Sheriff's Department. Policing is a 24-hour-a-day business. Answer. Yes, sir. Question. 365 days a year. Answer. Yes, sir. Question. That is, there may be very small towns that have only a part-time police officer, constable, police department, correct? Answer. Yes, sir. Question. But with the Manitowoc County Sheriff's Department, it's around the clock, 24/7, 365 days a year. Answer. Yes, sir. Question. Obviously, no single officer can work 24 hours, 7 days a week, so you divide the day into shifts. Answer. That's correct, sir. Question. A criminal investigation that happens to begin on one shift may be carried over on another. Answer. Yes, that's possible. Question. Officers who actually don't work the same shift may be working on the same investigation. Answer. Yes, sir. Question. Which witnesses may have to be interviewed, and their working hours may require officers who work on the late shift or the overnight shift to conduct the interviews. Answer. Correct. Question. So by preparing reports, officers on one shift can share their information with officers on the other shifts. Answer. Absolutely. Question. And in this sense, there is a collective benefit that allows the department to continue its criminal investigative duties around the clock. Answer. Yes, sir. Question. Yet another purpose of police reports is to report upward to supervisors what it is you are doing. Answer. Yes, sir. Question. Reports typically are reviewed by supervisors. Answer. Yes, they are. Question. For accuracy. Answer. Yes. Question. For thoroughness. Answer. Yes. Question. For completeness. Answer. Yes. Question. Preparing reports is something that a thorough police officer does. Answer. Yes. Question. Preparing reports is something that a police officer should do in a timely fashion. True. Answer. Yes. Question. Because again, one of the first purposes is to get the facts down on paper accurately while they are fresh in your mind. Answer. Yes, sir. Question. And preparing reports in a timely and thorough way is something that a fair police officer does, isn't it? Answer. I would imagine. Yes, sir. Question. That is, you want the report to be objective. Answer. Yes. Question. Accurate in the sense of fair and factually correct. Answer. Yes. Question. Not tilted or biased in any fashion. Answer. Correct. Question. The idea is to lay out the facts and see where they lead. Answer. Yes, sir. Question. You prepare reports then, and as they go up the stream for a supervisor's review, the supervisor typically will sign off or indicate approval in some fashion. Answer. Yes, sir. Question. Or may send the report back for further work. Answer. Yes, sir. Question. You are a supervisor yourself in the road patrol unit. Yes, sir. Question. You fill this function. That's one of your administrative duties, is to review reports prepared by deputies under you in the road patrol unit. Answer. Yes, sir. Question. You encourage them to file timely reports. Answer. Yes. Question. Thorough reports. Answer. Yes. Question. And fair reports. Answer. Yes, sir. Question. The reports, you know, after now 10 going on 11 years as a sworn law enforcement officer, then sometimes will go further to a prosecutor. Answer. Yes, sir. Question. Prosecutors rely on these police reports in making charging decisions. Answer. Yes, sir. Question. If they elect to charge a case, you know as well in your criminal justice system that the reports then go to the defence once a case has been charged in court? Answer, yes, sir. The defence lawyers then rely on the thoroughness of these reports? Answer, yes, sir. Question, the accuracy of these reports? Answer, yes, sir. Question, the timeliness of these reports? Answer, yes, sir. Question, and at a very practical level, if later you as the officer involved in some activity have forgotten exactly what happened, you can turn back to your report? Answer, yes. Question, use it to refresh your recollection? Answer, yes, sir. Question, sometimes use the report or other officers to refresh your recollection? Answer, yes, sir. Question, which again is you relying on the accuracy and the thoroughness and the timeliness of reports by other officers? Answer, yes, sir. Question, and if you were to change your explanation of what happened, either the prosecution or the defence might use the report to show that you had said something different in the report? Answer, yes, sir. Question, if you don't prepare a report, then you haven't committed anything to paper. Correct? Answer, correct. Question, and someone who doesn't commit anything to paper then can't be pinned down on the details as would someone who had put the details on paper? Answer, okay, I mean, that makes sense. Question, makes sense to you? Answer, Question, now let's go to this investigation. The activities concerning this investigation, are you with me? Answer, yes, sir. Question, November the 3rd, 2005, when you learned from Mr. Wiegert that Teresa Holbach was missing, was just about exactly to the day 3 weeks after your deposition in Stephen Avery's lawsuit? Answer, yes, sir. Question, you were the shift commander that day, as we have established? Answer, yes, sir. Question, you learned about Miss Holbach being missing at about what time? Answer, somewhere between 6:30 and 7:30. Question, you were scheduled to get off shift at 8. Answer, yes, sir. Question, nearing the end of your day? Answer, yes, sir. Now, question, as shift commander, you could have assigned anyone in road patrol to go out to the address on Avery Road. And particularly when he finishes at 8 and he's gotten this report in 7:30, 6:30 or even 7:30. Why would he be so keen to go and do it? Answer, yes. Question, you chose to do it yourself? Answer, yes. Question, did you go alone? Answer, yes, I did. Question, at that time, all you knew is that this address on Avery Road was one of the appointments where Miss Holbach evidently had the day she was last seen by family or friends? Answer, yes, sir. Question, you happened to meet Stephen Avery, or not meet him for the first time, but run into him, so to speak, when you went out there that evening? Answer, yes, sir. Question, you talked with him? Answer, yes, I did. Question, he was very cordial? Answer, yes, he was. Question, and as you followed through, you saw events unfold. Eventually, it was Stephen Avery who was charged with killing Teresa Holbach? Answer, yes, sir. Question, that came a week roughly after your first conversation with him on Thursday, November the 3rd? Answer, yes, sir. Question, Mr. Avery then was charged with the most serious crime someone can commit in this state? Answer, yes, sir. Question, when, sir, did you first make a written report of anything having to do with the November 3, 2005 meeting with Mr. Avery? Answer, June of 06, I believe. Question, does June the 29th, 2006 sound correct? Answer, yes. Question, a few days short of the 4th of July? Answer, yes, sir. Question, not quite 8 months after the conversation with Mr. Avery? Answer, yes, sir. Question, was that a timely report? Answer, I wasn't even aware that Manitowoc County had our own report. I didn't find out about it till then. Are you serious, Andy? Question, you were aware that Manitowoc County Sheriff's deputies had played a substantial role at the Avery property for a week from November the 5th to November the 12th? Answer, yes. Question, you saw literally dozens of fellow officers from the Manitowoc County Sheriff's Department during that week? Answer, yes. Question. And your testimony today is you aren't aware that any of them ever wrote any reports? Answer. No, I wasn't. I knew Calumet County Sheriff's Department was handling the report portion of it. Question. And somebody finally suggested to you in June, more than 7 months later, that maybe you ought to write a report about that first interview with Stephen Avery? Answer. They informed me that there was indeed a report and that I should make an entry on it. Yes. Question. You made an entry on it? Answer. Yes, I did. Question. And that entry was all of about a page? Answer. I guess it was a few paragraphs. I don't know how many. Question. Did you happen to notice when you were with Mr. Avery on November the 1st, a big fresh gash or cut on his right middle finger? Answer. No, I did not notice that. Question. Didn't notice him bleeding? Answer. No, sir, I didn't. Question. Or notice anything that looked like it had been recently bleeding or recently a fresh open cut? Answer. No, sir, I didn't notice any injury. Question. That's why there is no mention of such an injury in your report? True? Answer. Correct. Dean. What time does the court wish to take the afternoon break? For my purposes, Your Honour. Willis, we'll go another 10 minutes. Dean. Thank you. Question. Now, did I understand you correctly in your testimony earlier today, Sergeant Colburn, that today you remember what it was you were doing on your day off, Friday, November the 4th, 2005, the day after you first talked to Stephen Avery? Answer. Yes. Question. We were talking about timely and thorough and accurate reports before. And I wonder if you recall, a little over a month ago, not quite 6 weeks ago, in fact, January 11th, 2007, being interviewed by Investigator Steyer of the Calumet County Sheriff's Department. Do you remember that? Answer. Yes. Question. And you knew that Investigator Steyer was interviewing you in connection with this case? Answer. Yes. Question. You know, as a law enforcement officer, that it's important, if one speaks to another, to a police officer, to give accurate information to the officer? Answer. Yes, sir. Question. You know, in fact, that it's a crime in the state of Wisconsin intentionally to give false information to a police officer? Answer. Yes, sir. Question. And on January 11th, 2007, you recall Investigator Steyer asking you if you could recall what you had done on Friday, November the 4th, 2005, your day off. Do you recall him asking you that? Answer. Yes. Question. And what you told him was that you could not recall what you had done on your day off. That's what you told Investigator Steyer. Answer. Yes. At that precise second that he asked me, I could not recall everything that I had done on that day. Question. You recalled later? Answer. Yes. Question. And when, sir? When did you call up Investigator Steyer and say, I'm sorry, I was wrong? I now remember what I did on my day off, Friday, November 4th, 2005. Answer. I didn't call Investigator Steyer. Question. One of the things the road patrol officers under your supervision frequently do is look for cars that appear out of place. Answer. Yes, sir. Question. Or if they made a traffic stop, they will inquire about the license plate or the registration plates on an automobile? Answer. Yes, sir. Question. And they will call into dispatch and give the dispatcher the license plate number of a car they have stopped or a car that looks out of place for some reason, correct? Answer. Yes, sir. Question. And the dispatcher, very quickly these days, with his or her computer screen, can get information about to whom a license plate is registered. Answer. Yes, sir. Question. Also, the dispatcher can give you, right over the phone or the radio, the information about what car the license plate is registered to. Answer. Yes, sir. Question. This is useful so that you know who you may be approaching, if there's a driver of the car that stopped. Answer. Yes, sir. Question. It's also useful to know whether the license plate appears to be on the car for which it is registered. Answer. Yes, sir. Question. If the car is abandoned or there's nobody in the car, the registration tells you who the owner presumably is. Answer. Yes, sir. Question. Are you the only Andy, to your knowledge, in the Manitowoc County Sheriff's Department? Answer. The only officer with the first name Andy? Question. Yes. Answer. No, I'm not. Question. All right. I'm going to ask you to listen, if you would, to a short phone call. And I will ask you first if you are the Andy speaking. All right? Mm-hmm. Attorney Kratz likes to pipe in at every opportunity. Judge, before counsel does this, could we have it identified as to the date and time? Attorney Strang, absolutely. I will do the best I can. In fact, I should mark it. Exhibit number 2 and 2 marked for identification. Dean, this is a CD-ROM that we obtained from or a copy of the CD-ROM that we obtained from the Manitowoc County Sheriff's Department. Exhibit 2 and 2, counsel. Thank you. For counsel's benefit, this will be track 3. All I'm told by the Sheriff's Department is that these are calls between November the 3rd and November the 12th, 2005. Kratz again. Judge, we don't know when. What he is about to play them is within a 9-day period. Dean, if the witness made the call, I'm going to ask him when he made the call. Willis, all right, go ahead. So we hear the call. Manitowoc County Sheriff's Department. This is Lynn. Lynn, hi, Andy. Can you run Sam William Henry 852? See if it comes back to Sam William Henry 852. Dean, let me just stop it right there. In fact, I'm going to go back because it was so soft at the beginning. Manitowoc County Sheriff's Department. This is Lynn. Lynn, hi, Andy. Can you run? By Attorney Strang. Is that you? Answer, it sounds like me. I believe it's me. Question, okay, I'll Sam William Henry 580. See if it comes back to Lynn. Hi, Andy. Can you run Sam William Henry 582? See if it comes back to Sam William Henry 582. All righty. You speak any Spanish there, Andy? I just a call at the top of the list is my on call. Didn't call me back. If I want to get in trouble, Andy, I get in trouble. You know, what am I supposed to do? Well, my favorite one is in the city of Manitowoc. Okay. Shows that there's a missing person and it lists to Teresa Holbach. All set? Okay. Is that what you're looking for, Andy? 99 Toyota? Yep. Okay, thank you. You're so welcome. Bye, bye. Question, okay, that's the entire call. Hands up, that's your voice. Answer, yes, I believe that's my voice, yes. Question, when did you make that phone call inquiring about a license plate? Answer, I don't know. Question, do you have any recollection of making that phone call? Answer, I would have to have, it would have had to have been the 3rd of November 05, or I'm guessing the 3rd, 11th, 3rd of November 05. Yeah. Question. Okay, but let's establish this first. Do you remember making the call? Answer. No, not really. No. Question. What you're asking the dispatcher, whose name is Lynn, is to run a plate that's Sam William Henry 582. Did I hear that correctly? Answer. Yes, sir. Question. Sam William Henry is a phonetic code that law enforcement officers use because sometimes it's hard to tell just a letter over the radio. Answer, yes, sir. Question, Sam William Henry would be SWH 582. Answer, yes. Question, this license plate. Answer, yes, sir. Question, I'm showing for the benefit of the record, this is exhibit 152 or 153, and the clerk says it's on the plate itself, and Dean says this one happens to be 153. Question, and the dispatcher tells you that the plate comes back to a missing person or woman. Answer, yes, sir. Question, Teresa Holbach. Mispronounces the last name, but you recognize the name. Answer, yes, sir. Question, and then you tell the dispatcher, oh, 99 Toyota? Answer, no, I thought she told me that. Should have written it down, Andy. Then you would remember. So, replay. Manitowoc County Sheriff's Department. This is Lynn. Lynn. Hi, Andy. Can you run Sam William Henry 582? See if it comes back to Sam William Henry 582. All righty. Do you speak any Spanish there, Andy? I just got a call from the top of my list. Is on my on-call. Didn't call me back. If I want to get in trouble, Andy, I get in trouble. You know, what am I supposed to do? Well, my favorite one is in the city of Manitowoc. Okay, shows that she's a missing person. And it lists to Teresa Holbach. All set? Okay. That's what you're looking for, Andy? 99 Toyota. Yeah. Okay, thank you. You're so welcome. Bye, bye. Question. Actually, you who suggests this is a 99 Toyota. Answer, I asked if it was a 99 Toyota. Yes. Question, and the dispatcher confirmed that. Answer, yes. Question, were you looking at these plates when you called them in? Answer, no, sir. Question, and your best guess is that you called them in on November the 3rd, 2005? Answer, yes. Probably after I received a phone call from Investigator Wiegert letting me know that there was a missing person. Question, Investigator Wiegert, did he give you the license plate number for Teresa Holbach when he called you? Answer, I don't remember the entire content of our conversation, but obviously he must have, because I was asking the dispatcher to run the plate for me. Did you not trust that Investigator Wiegert got the number right? Answer, I don't. That's just the way I would have done it. I don't. It's not a trust or distrust issue. Dean, I'm about to move to a different area, Your Honour. Willis, all right, we'll take our afternoon break at this time. Members of the jury, do not discuss the case during the break, and we'll resume in 15 minutes. Jury not present. Willis, counsel, you should report back a little before 3 o'clock. Dean, thank you. Recess taken. Willis, Mr. Strang, you may resume your cross-examination. Question. So as you sit here today, Sergeant Colburn, you don't recall whether Investigator Wiegert gave you Miss Holbach's telephone number when he called you that Thursday evening? He never asked me anything about a telephone number. Question. But you think he must have given you her license plate number? Did I say telephone number? Answer, yes, you did. I'm sorry, I apologize. What I meant is you don't recall as you sit here today whether Mr. Wiegert gave you Teresa Holbach's license plate number when he called you on November the 3rd? Answer, no. I just don't remember the exact content of our conversation then. Question, but answer, he had to have given it to me because I wouldn't have had the number any other way. Question, well, and you can understand how someone listening to this might think that you were calling in a license plate that you were looking at on the back end of a 99 Toyota from listening to that tape. You can understand why someone might think that, can't you? Kratz, it's a conclusion, Judge. He's conveying the problems to the jury. Willis, I agree. The objection is sustained. Question, this call sounds like hundreds of other license plate or registration checks you have done through dispatch before. Answer, yes. Question, but there's no way you should have been looking at Teresa Holbach's license plate on November the 3rd on the back end of a 99 Toyota. Kratz, asked and answered, Your Honour. He already said he didn't and was not looking at the license plate. Willis, sustained. Question, there's no way you should have been, is there? Answer, I shouldn't have been and I was not looking at the license plate. We'll hold it there because that's, it's great reading through that, but my goodness, nearly an hour later. So yes, we'll carry on with the next bit of that from that iconic moment. What was his exact words? I shouldn't have been, and I was not looking at the license plate. Okay. So I just wanted to just briefly mention, just before I say cheerio, that looking at the 7th en banc decision in Brendan's appeal, obviously I'm going to continue looking at Judge Hamilton's majority decision. Actually, I had an exchange with DB Cooper, who said, actually I meant, would you carry on looking at the Drizin versus Kratz testimony at Brendan's appeal hearing? So yes, we can carry on with that as well. But as I say, this is Dean Strang at his very best, really embarrassing Andy Colburn over his timely reports. Not just timely reports, but the content. By there being no content and not being timely, the defence is denied any information from that. And yes, we'll carry on. There is a very good line from Dean Strang when Kratz gets annoyed that Dean doesn't simply come out and ask Andy the direct question, did you plant anything? So anyway, I'll say cheerio for now, and look forward to seeing you again sometime soon. Monday morning, looking ahead, definitely we'll have another session with Dr. Silkman. I'm looking forward to that. As I say, also want to talk with Millbilly about a specific topic that might be an interesting one to look at, and we'll carry on with probably the second part of this. I don't know, maybe even tomorrow. Let's see who's all here. Yeah, Mark's here. Darkside, Mandy, JC. Interesting that you stopped there. Yeah, it's an iconic point, isn't it? An iconic moment in the whole of the documentary. Who else we've got? Mandy, Darkside, Mandy. Okay, I think we've got everybody commenting here. Yeah, excellent. Okay, catch you later. Bye for now. Thanks for joining.